Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, is the world's most prominent political prisoner. He is a prisoner in Britain's most infamous prison of Belmarsh in London. He's indefinitely detained. The torture and inhumanity that is being inflicted on Julian reveals that the government in this country is afraid of the truth, and it is afraid of democratic movements. Like the massacre that took place here 203 years ago, those in charge hope that their repression will be forgotten. That will never happen. Every generation has to fight to live in a true democracy. Fight against the forces of repression that are fearful of our rights and our ability to express our rights. My husband is this era's most significant pro-democracy activist. He made it his life's work to expose corruption and crimes committed by banks, by large corporations, and by governments alike. Julian faces a prison sentence of 175 years in the United States because he did what true journalists are meant to do, to defend democracy by publishing the truth. And it is our job as the front line of the pro-democracy movement in this country to defend him from the ferocious authoritarian backlash that has been inflicted on him, and which demeans the democracy that those who came before us fought so hard to attain. At the core of Julian's work through WikiLeaks is the right to publish the truth, especially when it embarrasses those in power, for that is the essential ingredient in a true democracy. Julian is a political prisoner because he published evidence of war crimes and of tens of thousands of civilian killings in wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And ever since he published those things in 2010, he has been detained in one form or another in this country, and 3 years in Belmarsh prison. Wars that we were lied into, wars that we opposed, wars that we marched to stop in our millions, wars that lasted 20 years, wars that brought laws into this country to progressively erode our rights here, wars which we funded against our will, with the money successive governments have used to enrich the merchants of war and diverted tax money away from us, away from the NHS, away from education and infrastructure. Decades of neglect that have led to taxpayers no longer being able to keep themselves warm in winter. Julian has dedicated his life to fighting for the weak and exposing the powerful. That's why the United States government wants to sentence him to 175 years. That's why they want him extradited. And that's why everyone who wants to live in a true democracy in this country must come together to fight for Julian's freedom. On the 8th of October, we will form a human chain around the Houses of Parliament, also known as the Palace of Westminster. We'll form a human chain to remind those inside that democracy does not reside within their walls, but without them. To remind them that Julian Assange and you and me and millions of people around the world and in this country are part of a movement of democracy that came long before us, and that our children and our children's children will continue to fight for long after we're gone. That Julian Assange is in prison because he represents the democratic principles that successive governments have betrayed. to demand that they free Julian Assange now. So I ask you, come to London, join me and thousands of others to form a human chain to surround Parliament on the 8th of October to bring democracy back to Westminster and to free Assange. Thank you.
I think we need to do that chant again, don't we? Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free